Right, hello, it's Matt and Stephen here with Matt and Steph Uncensored. We are coming at you live, pre-recorded, from the studio. We've moved back down the end of the garden again, and we've got a special guest with us today.
Me.
Yeah. and someone else who's wandered in off the street. Apparently he's called Tom.
I just thought I'd just pop by. I was on my way home.
And it turns out he's interested in trains, and so Stephen has said we've got to talk about trains all night. Brilliant.
Not what I said.
It's not what I thought either.
Trains is history, not mine at all. Although to be fair, we did say before that I'd come and have a look.
Yeah.
Because steam engine trains are a bit different. I thought literally you were going to watch like a Virgin train go down on track.
No.
That's boring as shit.
That's boring.
I sent him a video for his lad because
He loves it.
Isaac Jacob likes trains, doesn't he? So I sat at Shackleton, took a video of the steam train coming in. He was like, "Oh my god, I didn't realise it was proper train."
Proper train.
I don't sit there with a little book going, "Oh, there's the 543 from."
Yeah, but when my house is back up onto a train line, I could say to you what train's coming, and you'd be able to tell.
Yeah,
what train it was.
you can tell from the engine. Yeah,
boring trains.
they weren't boring. They're massive freight trains.
Yeah, they're boring.
Yeah. Oh, my garden backs up to the railway line. It shakes the house at 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
absolutely does my head in.
I'd love that.
Well, I think the problem is though, like when the house shakes, I was like, "How's that for you, darling?"
Shout out to Fran.
She's gonna kill me.
Well, thank you for joining us this week. It's been nice having you, Tom.
No worries. I'll see you again the same time next week. Yeah?
I don't think you'll be here.
Yeah.
No.
we were talking before we went on air, and you mentioned Vinnie Jones, was it?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
You know Vinnie Jones, and you two hang out.
Well, I wouldn't say we hung out. I was working. He was drinking. I was working at the Grove Hotel, Watford, originally where I was from.
Yeah.
And he came in with his then wife Tanya, God rest her soul, and we just got chatting because originally from Watford, Mum and Dad lived in Aberslangly near Bedmond, where Vinny actually played football with a lot of his mates, and I just told him the story, and we just got chatting and exchanged emails, and we didn't really talk that much because I didn't really want to disturb him because he was this hot celebrity and I was his waiter, so I didn't really want to pester him too much. So we just.
Were you a bit starstruck?
A little bit. At first I was, yeah.
Did you walk over shaking the suit like what's the
I was shaking like a shitting dog is what I was. I was at first I was very nervous, but then more times I met him and Tanya, it was like seeing friends. I was more relaxed, and they knew I was a bit starstruck. But then I think he knew where I was from. Because when I was a lot younger, I didn't realise. I think it was a goalkeeper for Watford. Is it Richard Johnson? I might pronounce that wrong, but Richard Johnson. He used to take me to school. He had a daughter called Jasmine, and we used to play together outside on the green outside the front of our houses. And we were like, I didn't realise who he was at all. He used to take me to school, and I mentioned that to Vinnie Jones, and he was like, "Okay, all right, this guy's a bit." Unusual.
He's got some famous friends.
I think I can dig him. But he was all right. He's a good guy, really nice guy. He's proper down to earth. From what I met of him, he's really like polite. Always listens to you, and he never like badmouths anybody. He's always straight to the point. Yeah, and that's what I liked about it, really. Yeah. So, well, apart from him grabbing Gazza's bollocks. That was to the point. That was literally to the point.
We do that every time before we start recording. We forgot today.
Was that just before? Was that just before I walked in the room? Was it?
That's why we say to knock first.
Not before you go. When it says on air outside, it just means we're playing with each other.
This escalated.
Let's bring it back down to earth. Obviously, you model yourself on Lee Nelson. So, have you ever met him?
No.
I do look a bit of a disaster, don't I? This
you don't look a disaster. You've got a very sort of, you've got your style, haven't you? The cap and the hoodie and that sort of thing.
and the jeans. Yeah,
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 that's
it's
like
comfortable.
it's like skater dude.
Yeah, well,
Thing.
but a fat skater dude,
Yeah,
fat
well,
old skater dude.
Yeah. Can you skate?
No.
Oh, okay. we'll skate over that.
Yeah,
So,
I
yeah.
cannot skate.
So anyway, yeah, new format. We've got
Yeah.
people in every week talking to us about whatever they want to talk about. We're just interested in learning stuff. Everyone's different. Everyone's got different interests, funny stories, whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, is there anything in particular you want to talk about today?
Well, I could talk for hours. That's why my nickname is Tommy Talk Talk.
Strap yourself in, viewers.
Yeah.
Tommy Talk Talk. Is that what they call it?
In everyone that's worked with me on the lorries knows that's my nickname.
Get off the fucking radio, Tom.
Stop fucking
It's an
speaking.
emergency.
Stop talking and get it delivered, you pillock.
Yeah. You've been talking for 45 minutes. You've not left the yard yet.
So I'm on break, mate.
Oh,
So I put it on POA. But yeah, the guy who come up with the name, it was my first job working as a Class 1 driver. I passed my test in 2020. I worked for this company called Bull Trucking, and we delivered bread to all the Aldi distribution centres all across the country. There was a guy called Steve Lewis. I think it's Steve Lewis. He worked in the gatehouse on days. I think he's done a couple of DJ sets on Tamworth. I think it's Tamworth FM. That's even correct. But yeah, he's quite well known. And
I've never heard of them. They're not as big as us.
No, well, there you go. But long story short, he came up with the nickname.
Tommy Talk Talk.
Because I used to come in and just chat, and he used to laugh at me, and then he came up with that name, Tommy Talk Talk. So, and then it just.
So you're not a proper podcast virgin then, because that's what you described yourself as earlier. You've done work on, you've spoke on radio and stuff.
No, I haven't spoken on radio. But
Oh, you've not?
Steve has.
Oh.
Steve has. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have literally
Yeah.
popped my podcast cherry.
And how's it feeling so far?
Oh, it's.
We
Yeah.
are near the railway line, so I'm not going to ask if your world's shaking because
It feels very nice and very relaxing because that fan's on
Yeah.
at 20 degrees.
I'm cooking.
Are you cooking? No, you've got a body warmer on.
It's hiding my body. That's why I've got it on. It's hiding my body.
You know.
But if I'm warm, I'll sweat and lose weight.
That's fine then.
Yeah.
You don't, if you don't mind that, just do it. Let it all hang out, Matt.
It does all hang out if I take it off. That's true. Yeah.
Oh God, you two love each other, don't you? It's a love-hate relationship.
We just get rude. I'm sure our parents one day will turn around and go, "It's okay, you know, if you two are like together."
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh
So how
yeah.
long have you been a lorry driver?
I have been a lorry driver for, I would say, in total, including my Class 2 as well, I would say about 6.5 years, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I passed my Class 2 and I worked for Benson Beds doing home deliveries, which was a pain in the arse job.
So it's class
Yeah.
2, like
Rigid
the
truck.
rigid.
18
Yeah.
ton, right?
Yeah, you
I
got
was
eight-
2 years ago.
Yeah, you got 7.5 tonners and they go all the way up to like 26 ton.
Because I wasn't sure with that license whether it's just up to 18. I'm sure it was 18 when I did my test.
I think a lot's changed. A lot's
We used
changed.
to
I
have,
mean,
we used to have 26 tonners drop all the panels off to the workshop.
yeah, a lot of them are curtain siders,
Yeah.
and they've got high abs on the back.
Yeah.
I used to work for, I think for 3 months I worked for Matt Kearney Transport, and I used to do like multi drops all around sort of Midland area with curtain sider work. So I only just passed my test. Jumping from a 7.5 ton straight into a 26 ton was quite a jump for me at that time. And then when I passed in 2020, I went to Bull Trucking and I was petrified. The first time going out in the truck, I was shitting myself.
Is that where you work now?
No, I work for Peter Jones Transport now, and we are based out of Aldi, head office in Atherstone. So we do all the...
Out of Aldi Middle Aisle.
That's the one. Yes, yeah. Special aisle.
Didn't want to say anything.
No, well, we do all the stuff that all the Aldi drivers do. So we're subcontractors. Yeah. So we do all store deliveries. So some of the car parks are quite tight, but you get used to it. I mean, Peter is absolutely brilliant. He's one of the best bosses I've ever had. He is a family man, very small company. We've only got 4 trucks. It's just a great job.
Yeah.
It really is a great job. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I have to be out of bed. I'm in the truck by 4:45. It's early starts, but you finish sometimes 12:30, 1, 2 o'clock at the latest. So once you've done your 3 stores, you're home basically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
home every night and get your own truck every time. So and you get to put all your stuff in. Because I'm a bit of a tart. I like.
What have you got in there?
Well, I've got my Tommy Talk nameplate in the window, but I have to take it out every night because people use it on nights, so I have to take it all out. But I have like lights up on the roof and everything, and I cut like all the mats and everything they put in, and sat nav and stuff. Nothing massive, but when I first started working for Peter, I was driving a Volvo F6. It was an FH, I think it was a 460. He had just bought it, air horns on the roof, light bars and everything. I just went to town on it and just put mats in it and Volvo badge on the back and everything.
Standard lamp in the corner.
Yeah, deck chair, sideboard, kitchen
record
sink,
player,
kitchen sink.
Everything.
But don't need one of them.
I was just going to say.
No.
You piss up
Did you
against
do
the
like
wheel.
long distance?
I used to. No, I used to tramping. I one of these.
Interesting name.
Yeah, that's what they call it. That's what they call it. If you're out all week, it's tramping. I mean, Monday to Friday. I couldn't do that. I know a few people that do that. Dean and Nick, who I used to work with at Bull Trucking, they used to go abroad. I said, I take my hat off literally to these guys that are out a week and a half, 2 weeks at a time. How they do that is beyond me.
Especially going abroad. I mean, they're mental abroad.
Yeah.
The way they drive abroad.
They don't even
Yeah.
follow the lines in the road.
Different side of the road.
Yeah. When I've been offered international work before and I turned it down, it just does not interest me at all. I like to be home every night. I don't mind being out twice a week maximum, but because I used to do the Bathgate run up to Scotland, up to Aldi up there. I used to go up there, tip, park in, I think it was Gretna. I used to manage to get down to Gretna or Ecclefechan. I always laugh when I say that. Ecclefechan truck stop.
Nice.
But you know what? In there, the food is banging.
Yeah.
A couple of quid, you get a massive plate of food.
And you have full English.
Oh, it was, Scottish full English. It was basically a pig on a plate, basically, with beans.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. The staff were really nice, clean showers.
Yeah.
The place didn't smell of urine. It was
Yeah.
it was a very nice truck stop.
Yeah.
And nothing beats at the end of a day when you've done a 15-hour day, parking up, closing your curtains, you get all your paperwork done, going into the building, having a nice slap-up meal and a shower. I don't know why, but it's a shower. All I'm thinking about is a shower at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But,
Long day, though, isn't it?
it's a very long day. Yeah.
Are you allowed to do 15 hours with breaks or what are the rules?
Yeah, with your work, it's working time directive. You have to do 15 hours, but it's driving time where you have to do 9 hours a day. We don't have to do 9 hours, but you can do a maximum of 9 hours, but you can extend it to 10 hours twice a week.
Right.
And then your rest periods are 11 hours, but you can reduce them to 9 hours. So personally, if I'm in the truck, I always like to do 9 hours because I like to get up and get on the road, and then I'll get back home.
Yeah.
So, but tramping was not really something that I wanted to embark upon. It just happened. I just got asked to do it. And then I liked it because it was set runs. I had my own truck. I knew all the routes, and it was quite easy.
Comfort.
Proper
What did you do then
comfort.
before you were driving lorries? Before you'd done your...
Before that, I was in a warehouse. I used to work for Millbrook Healthcare, and that was, I think it was pressure care, they called it. So it was all the beds and the cushions,
Orthopedic stuff.
Orthopedic, stuff like that. And then before that was when I first moved up here. We bought our house in August 2018. We bought our house. We lived in Atherstone for 6 months before we moved to Hinckley. So I worked there, and before I moved up here, I was still at Millbrook, but I was doing like home deliveries with wheelchairs. Yeah. And it was just dropping all the wheelchairs off to all the clients, wheelchair services in the hospitals, it was a great job, absolutely brilliant job.
Even then, were you interested in lorries? Were you
Yeah.
like, I want to drive a lorry. I just
I
love
loved them.
lorries. Cause...
Absolutely loved them. Yeah, I've always liked trucks, anything with an engine, really.
Anyway, where were we?
I don't know.
Well, we were establishing you were always into trucks and that.
Yes.
Even before you were driving them.
Oh yeah.
Then go on.
Fire away, sir.
Have you ever hit the A5 bridge? I think so.
No. Nearly.
Why does everybody else?
Yeah.
Do you know why? Because they don't check their heights.
Is it?
So it's the driver's fault.
Yes.
Yeah. There's no excuse for them to hit it. as
No,
far as you're
no
concerned.
excuse. There are 15-foot signs and everywhere, and also there is a massive sign when you go past Aldi on the A5. Overheight vehicle, turn back. There
And
is
they still
no.
hit it.
Yeah, there's
Do you
no.
reckon that's something to do with language barriers? Because I've noticed some of them are actually from a different country driving over here.
Yeah,
So, but surely they would know how to read a sign in a different
Yeah.
country if that's your job.
yeah. You should. If you go to another country, you should know the road signs and learn how to obey them. But
So what happens when they hit the bridge then?
if-
The driver,
well, they get in serious shit.
do they?
Yeah, they can lose. I don't know about losing their license, but they'll definitely lose their job. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, depending on the haulier. But I'm pretty sure that you'll end up in some serious shit if hitting a railway bridge or any bridge is a big no-no in the industry, because you should know the height of your truck and your trailer. You should know it before you set off.
I was going to say, when I did my lorry test, that was one of the tests. Was to check that you knew the height of your vehicle and the widest points and the highest points of your vehicle and stuff like that. So
It even says it on the trailer, or some of them say it.
Some visor is or something.
That's the height indicator in your cab. That is the height of the truck. But yeah, if you get into it, if you change trailers and your next trailer is a different height, if it's displayed, you have to change that in the cab.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you change that.
Yeah, you
Depending on
change
what you're
it.
pulling, so you can look up and go
Yes.
too high, right?
Yeah, you're meant to change it. So if you get pulled, God forbid if you get pulled, then they'll check that and say, and that'll just say to them that you haven't checked your height. So, but yeah, a bridge basher is a no-no.
So also another no-no, which you've told me about before, is dropping a trailer on its knees.
Dropping a trailer on its knees, yeah.
Do you want to tell us that
Yeah,
story?
yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, dropping a trailer on its knees is.
It's not sexual.
No, it's nothing to do with a fucking porno. It's not a porno. It's the trailer's arse end is sticking up in the air, but
You
yeah.
just done what I thought
Have you done it again?
you dirty bastard.
Oh, I'm gonna need a fucking gas mask at this rate,
Do you know,
guys.
he's had a double cheese Philly stacker from bloody
I had a
Macca's,
lot of cheese.
and then some cheese dippers as well. This
And
is
milk cheese.
the doctor
yeah.
told him he's dairy intolerant, and he won't have it. I tell you what.
I'm not having it.
Tell you what.
Your intestine's about to prolapse by the smell of it.
You want me to check?
Just in
Oh,
case.
yeah, yeah,
Just
mate.
in case.
He sat on his
Well,
he sat on his coat.
I'm
So it's his own fault.
I'm going to absorb it, alright? I'm just going to walk out like I'm stepping dog shit.
Stephen moaned it was cold, so we've got all the fan heaters on full bore, and he's doing that. It's the first time we've had a guest
in the studio.
in the studio.
Yeah.
And I'm being gassed to death.
He's not going to come back.
I'm not Jewish, if that's what I'm not Jewish, all right?
Yeah, if
No,
anybody else- If anybody else would like to come on and get gassed by
To be fair,
Stephen,
I've got blonde hair, blue eyes.
Oh, no. Fucking, there I go again. Fucking landing himself in the shit again. Tom has no filter, yes, we know.
Right, wait. Oh, yeah, training on the knees.
Dropping on its
Trailer on
knees,
the
yeah.
knees,
If you like you put a trailer on a bay, or you're parking a trailer in the yard, put parking brake on, and then you take the number plate off, and you disconnect all your airlines, and you've got to take the pin out where the fifth wheel is, where the trailer connects to the truck. Take that out, but you forget to wind the legs down.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and you know when you dropped one of them, because what will happen is when you slide out of the trailer, when the fifth wheel comes off of the trailer, it will just drop straight onto your wheel arches, and it will probably rip them off. And if you haven't got concrete, I saw somebody do it, and it was wet and it was it was like a quarry, and it just fucking went bang straight into the ground.
Oh, no.
And
And
all the stuff inside of it is just going everywhere.
It was empty. Luckily it was.
Yeah,
If it's fully loaded or fully laden, I should say, in the trade. If it's fully loaded, like 20 tons worth of stuff, you've got no fucking chance. No chance. Yeah, but I've seen
Are you
people
quite
do
a
it.
methodical person? So when you're unhooking, you check everything and double check and make sure you've
Always, because you could kill someone if you get it wrong. You can. I know it sounds silly, but you can. What they tell you in your test is it's BLACK, black. So it's like kingpin, legs, everything like that. It's all in order. So, but I have a particular order when I get out
like
of the
that
truck.
you went for K and then L. It's all in order.
K and L, but I don't give it.
What's B then?
It's been a long day, chaps. It's been a long day, chaps.
K then L. And
Just, do you know,
bracket or something?
Do you know what? As long as you fucking do it, who gives a shit? Whatever order you do it in, fuck it, who cares? As long as it's fucking. Is the trailer following you? Yes, right, okay, that's fine. I got told by somebody who took me out when I first passed my test. He says, always stop if you hear a bang or a scream. If you hear a bang or a scream, you stop. Yeah.
Same could be said for being a Sparky.
Actually, you're saying that. So then, how are these videos coming out of lorry drivers driving down the motorway with a car pinned up against the front of them and they haven't noticed?
I can guarantee you they've noticed.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you they have.
Because obviously the actual
Yeah.
engine bay is quite small.
It is.
In a lorry, because you sort of sat quite forward. Aren't you?
Yeah, you are
How do
literally.
you not see a car being dragged all the way down the motorway?
Oh, they can. They know it's there. They know it's there because what's happened is they've probably cut them up, and the driver's enraged and just gone, "Fuck you! I'm just gonna fucking keep going." But that probably. But if a car is right in front of you, because the windscreen is right there,
Yeah,
you are over
really
the engine.
close.
You are literally right there. You know that you've got a car there, surely. But unless you drive a T-cab where you've got this massive, great big bonnet out the front where you probably can't see nothing. They're like American lorries, but yeah.
Laura's mum went out their house when they were in Barwell once and her car had disappeared and they thought someone had nicked it. And what had happened was an Arctic lorry had come around the corner, and as he'd gone round the corner, the back, the bar across the back of the trailer had hooked her car and dragged it down the road, and he hadn't realised till he pulled up at the factory and went, "What's the car hanging off the back of my lorry?"
Thing is, it's not funny at the time, but it's funny when you look back at it.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, were there any people in the car?" No.
I mean, that's a saving grace, really. Imagine there's someone in it like, hang on a minute, hang on.
Oh yeah.
Going backwards. What's going on here?
Oh yeah. I reversed into a taxi. My last accident I had. I was dropping a trailer, not on its knees, but I was dropping it outside a bakery in Manchester, right by the Man City ground. Dropped it. I walked around, did all my checks. I disconnected everything, and there was no car behind me. I thought, yeah, great. Got back in the cab, reversed back a little bit. Bang! What the fuck was that? Just heard this, and this bloke was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I was like, "What the fuck are you doing there? You weren't there 3 seconds ago." And I was like, "Why'd you park behind the fucking truck, you idiot?"
Yeah.
And then, I've got photos that I only, in the cab, it only felt like a little nudge.
Yeah.
I completely fucked the back of his car. I fucked it, yeah. I absolutely, it was an estate car.
If you're going to do it.
Oh,
Do it
yeah.
properly,
Yeah. No fucking half measures. You've got to, yeah.
So there was no one there originally, and then as you start reversing, he's pulled up and parked behind you.
Yeah, he's parked behind me.
Surely he's at fault with that one then?
No, because he was stationary. I've technically hit a stationary vehicle, so it's my fault. Everybody points to the lorry driver. It's your fault, which a lot of the time it is.
I've got to admit, when I was doing my test for the class 2, even the instructor said to me, people will not give a shit.
Yeah.
So when I did my test, they took me through, I think it was an 18-ton lorry. They took me through Leicester High Cross.
Yeah.
Which was horrible anyway.
Yeah.
It was quite tight, and you learned in anyway. I was doing my test there.
Yeah.
And you literally, you're turning around these tight corners, and people are just, fuck you.
Yeah.
Just walking in front, and you're like, I'm a learner, right? Like, it's a good job I know where the brake is, because you're going to get killed.
Yeah.
But they don't seem to care.
Why don't you still drive lorries?
You need another hour for that one, probably.
Have you ever heard of dropping a trailer on its knees?
You know the A5 bridge?
Well, I hit the A5 bridge, it came off the back and dropped to his knees. Imagine that.
Landing on a car.
You've got a car in front of you, car behind you.
And then he got out and started ranting in German.
Das ist nicht gut. Oh. Do you know how I'm going to call? I'm going to call the Führer. Sorry, any German
Anyway,
listeners
and then he
that are
became a
listening.
bathroom fitter.
Oh my God.
Sorry, guys,
You know,
if you're listening and
Your
you're
story
German.
is not going to be as good as that, is it?
You
I
might-
wish it wasn't, no.
You might need to edit that
I'm
out.
trying to think of how to not get sued by what I'm saying. So, I worked for a company
Mm-hmm.
in Stony Stanton,
Yeah.
I think I might know who that is.
logistics firm.
Begins with C, ends with Overly.
Yes.
Carry on. You got to tell it now.
Oh dear God.
Sounds like Bobblies, but with a cut.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Wobblies.
No, no idea.
So that was my first step. I've just passed my test. It was to be fair to them, they were the only place to give me a shot. Because for some reason, when you pass your test, it's one of the hardest things to get is the job.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to take the risk because the insurance is high.
Mhm.
Did you find that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So joined with Roblers, and then they sent me out on multi-drop, which was horrible. I hated it. It's in the big lorries. You've only really just passed your test, like I said, you shit yourself to start with.
Yes.
Never mind the fact that you still look 12 now. So that,
Oh yeah, exactly.
you
I was
look
like a
like-
6-year-old driving. I wasn't that happy about it. No. But, so I was doing multi-drop, which I absolutely hated. But to be honest, it's very. It's going to be very contradictory now. But it was a very lonely job, like you said. You're
Is
always
it?
on
Yeah.
your own, and I didn't like it at the time. So quite a people person. I love having a good laugh with people. But as I've got older, that seems to have changed. Whereas my circles
He just
got
keeps-
really
he
small.
keeps
and
dropping
like,
his guts
fuck
till everyone
people.
just goes away.
Yeah, basically. That's right.
Oh look, there's a bridge.
Make way!
Just watch the bridge walk on.
Get all that heat distortion.
So you sure that's not the night heater?
Anyway,
But no, it is a lonely job.
it was a really lonely job. So I did say to them, like, look, I'm not really enjoying this multi-drop thing. It's stressing me out. It's in the middle of Leicester, so it's carnage everywhere all the time. I'm to just pull over, people beeping at you, and I'm getting road rage anyway. So I said, okay, we'll put you on long haulage. Well, it's not really long haulage. It was places like Leeds and stuff like that, so not too far. Which I actually quite enjoyed.
Mm.
And then it got to a point where I'd accidentally took the wrong turn in and ended up with something completely different. So I rang them and said, look, I've made a mistake. I've always been like that. I put my hands up, I fuck up. I said, look, I've made a mistake. I took the wrong turn in and I'm fucking way off track.
I'm in Nottingham driving down a tram
pretty
lane.
much, yeah. The train chasing me.
Where are you? Ding ding!
Belgium.
Where are you? The River Severn.
The sat nav said.
I mean, I wasn't that bad.
Follow the sat
But
nav.
yeah, I was in the wrong place, and the manager, I'll say, in charge, gave me a right grilling on the phone, and basically called me a twat. Now, I don't have an issue necessarily of working for people, but the minute they speak to me like I'm dirt,
Yeah.
gloves are off.
Yeah.
So I turned back round, drove all the way back to the office, so I didn't even do the drop. Went into the office, and he was sort of like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" I was like, "No one speaks to me like that."
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh, I was just joking. I was like, "It doesn't work like that, though.
No.
You don't
No.
speak to people like that." So I threw the keys on the desk. And I was like, "You're lucky it's not a lorry on your desk because just don't speak to people like that."
Yeah. Exactly.
Because I'm off
Yeah.
sick for a few days.
Yeah.
So I went home. I'd noticed over a good 2-3 month period, my mental health had just totally gone downhill. I was really lonely, had no one to talk to, and I just hated it.
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't get anything from it.
Yeah.
So they rang me and said, "Oh, are you coming back in?" I was like, "No, I'm going to have to quit."
Yeah.
I just couldn't cope with it.
Yeah. If you
It takes a certain kind of person to do that.
Yeah.
job. Whereas now I work on my own anyway.
if you enjoy your job, it's half the job done. Isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
You have
Do you
to
get
enjoy it.
lonely or do you?
With-
You all right with it?
With this particular job, I don't get lonely because you're only going an hour maximum to a store. But when I was tramping up to Scotland and stuff, I was very lonely. I had a picture of Fran and Ruben on the dashboard, you know, to keep me company, and I was phoning them up on FaceTime when I parked up for the night. It is lonely. And I never, ever wanted to, when I come off of this tramping job, I'm never doing it again.
No.
I mean, I got offered 2 weeks away to do the MotoGP race, to take all the tyres for Dunlop, and I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I thought, great. Me being a motorbike fanatic, I thought, great. That is absolutely amazing. Drive it from here all the way over to, I think it was Estoril circuit. But you're there for 2 weeks. You can't go and explore. You have to pretty much stay in the paddock, in your truck, and then go and eat. Not even eat in the catering truck. You weren't even allowed. You just take it back to your truck. I thought, that's no fun for me. I thought, it was decent money, but I thought,
Sounds
sod
a bit
that.
snobbish.
I was just like, I'm not
Did
doing
you not
that.
say to him, I should be eating it here. I know Vinnie Jones.
Yeah.
I love you, mate.
I can get him to fuck you up.
I hobnob with proper celebrities.
I don't.
You racing driver types.
I'm like, I could beat you. I could do it better than you.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't. No.
Have you ever wanted to do truck racing? Have you been to see it?
I've never been. I've seen it on telly. Never been interested in a truck. I mean, racing. It's either when I was younger, it was Formula One. When the V10s were there, with like 1999, like the Hakkinen and Schumacher era was my era of Formula One. Best sounding Formula One cars, in my opinion, were the V10s. These electric shit things now. I don't like them at all. They just sound awful. They sound like lawnmowers, to be honest with you. I mean, the racing's still good, but it is very good. But it's all about the sound of the cars. Like when it was 1990, from like 95 all the way through to 97, when Williams had the Renault engine, and then when I think it was 99, I think, when McLaren had that, the McLaren Mercedes. I think it was 98 when they started it with McLaren Mercedes, but 99 their engine sounded a lot more like whiny, and it just sounded so nice. That was that. It had a completely different noise to any of the other cars on the grid, and I thought that sounds a fucking bollocks, that car.
I suppose they're faster now.
They're a lot faster, I mean, for me, it was all about the noise. I mean, the rivalries were great. I mean, the best rivalry was Hakkinen and Schumacher. For me, that's always been a classic. I mean, we always get greats like Prost and Senna and Hill and Schumacher and stuff like that. But I mean, Schumacher's pretty much been the heart of the whole era of when I was watching Formula One. But I grew out of that and went on to motorbikes. Motorbikes were like, I can dig this, because I've been riding bikes since I was 4. I jumped on a motocross bike, and then I was doing that till about 15, and I wanted to do it professionally, but it was all money, and my mum and dad didn't really want me to do it. They said, you've got to study, you've got GCSEs and stuff, and I kind of fell out of it. And then when I bought my first bike when I was, I think I was probably 17. It was a little 125 Cruiser. I went straight out of my first GCSE exam. I was looking forward to the end of it, because I was like, last GCSE exam, I'm starting work the next day at Harley Davidson in Watford.
Nice.
It was absolutely brilliant. I was 17 years of age, and I walked in there as an apprentice, and there were all these big thumping bikes everywhere, and all these blokes that were just like, built like brick shit houses, leather jackets.
Like Angels.
But and I thought, who the hell are these guys? And I was hooked straight away. I've always had a soft spot for Harleys, but
if your mum and dad had backed you, do you think you'd have made it as a pro rider?
I think if I trained and not ate a lot of donuts, I think I could have done it. If now, obviously, age is not on my side, and I'm too old, I think now, to even start.
I've noticed a lot of these sports, they seem to get younger. Like Formula One, for instance, there's a lad in there the other week I was watching on Netflix. I think he was like 17, 18. And they even said to him, "Have you got your licence yet?"
No. Do you know what?
He's a beast in the car.
Fair fucking play to him.
Yeah.
I mean, the G-forces and the
and
the buttons that you have to press and everything to drive it, I couldn't even comprehend them. I've sat in a Formula One car. I went to, I think it was the old Benetton factory and I sat in Fernando Alonso's Renault.
Nice.
Oh, there was no seat in there, so I was literally sat on the floor, and I knew how to get in. With your arms, where they do their arms like that, and they go in, and I'm sat in there, and I'm like, this is snug. And it was a nice bit of kit, but I'm sat in a priceless Formula One car, and I didn't want to get out.
I think as well when you get older, your fear factor goes up, doesn't it? When you're a kid, you're like, I'll jump off this wall onto that concrete. What can go wrong? And then by the time you're 30, you're like, that's going to really hurt.
It's a lot more aggressive around corners and stuff like that. And they just don't care.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I love the fact of like me and my mates trying to go out and get your knee down around roundabouts and stuff.
Yeah.
When I was living down in Watford, we used to go to the Hatfield Business Park by the Galleria, and we used to go up there, and there was just loads of roundabouts. We used to just go round and round and round, getting our knees down. Then the elbows were trying to go down, and I managed to sew a knee slider onto my elbow as I was trying to get my elbow down.
I think bikes are something completely different. I think because you're so exposed.
Yeah.
It's a bit more arse twitching. As a Formula One car, I probably feel a bit better.
It's all down to the rider. In Formula One, it's like an 80-20 ratio where the car is like at 80% and the rider's the 20. But in MotoGP, it's the other way around because you have to really wrestle those bikes around the corners. I mean, they're like 250 plus horsepower bikes nowadays, and they're doing probably same speed as Formula One cars in a straight line. The bike would just go, bye, see you later, and even on a Formula One car, it's gone. But the horsepower they've got nowadays and the aerodynamics they've got is ridiculous.
I've only been on the back of a bike a couple of times on my brother's, and the junction at Mill on the Saw, near that Hauliers that rhymes with Poplars, bring it full circle.
The blue,
So left up there, and he says, "I'm going to give it the beans. When I say now, you need to duck down, else you'll get stuck up." And I said, "Yeah, all right." So he went up this hill, and he obviously went in second gear or whatever. And he went, "Now, duck down." And I went, "What?" And he went, and I was like holding on to him. I'm going to come off the back of the bloody thing. It's like my brother's just got no fear at all.
That's what I love my missus, because she's only 5'1" and she's brilliant because she hardly knows she's there half the time.
Yeah,
she knows what she's doing. When we go around a bend, she's leaning and everything like that. She's a great.
So what bike have you got?
I've got a 2004 R1 Yamaha,
Nice.
and it has had a lot of work done to it. I'll never get rid of it. It's my baby. It's black with green wheels.
Nice.
It's Monster Energy on it. Yeah. I just walked into the powder coaters with the wheels. I just went, Monster Energy green. He goes, yeah, we know which colour you want. There you go. I've spent thousands on it. When I got it in at the end of 2011, 2 months after having it, crashed into a police car. I crashed
Never
it.
crashed a lorry, but
No, well, I have into a taxi, but that was reversed. But yeah, I did it. I was no half measures. I was leaving the Ace, and by the Ace Cafe, for anyone who knows it, there is there's the West Coast Main Line, the Euston Line, and the Bakerloo Line that run right next to the cafe. And I went down that road, and this undercover police car with a little pot light on the roof just came straight out in front of me and saw me, stopped, left me nowhere to go. I'm like, fuck. Okay, on the brakes, all the back brake did was just lock up the rear wheel. I was just sliding all over the place, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to hit the car. So I literally braced for impact and literally went straight over the handlebars, landed on the bonnet, and the bike, it wrote off the police car. And I'm there trying to get the bike back up again.
To run.
Literally, well, to run away. No, the ambulance came and they checked me over and I was all okay. I rode home. It was just cosmetics. Yeah, but it had written off the police car. And I thought, how the fuck does it manage to do that?
Cars, though, are only really... There's not even really much of a chassis. They're just plastic or aluminium.
Yeah.
I suppose a bike is literally like a roll cage.
Yeah.
With an engine in it.
Were you going a little bit too quick then? Is that why they stopped? Ram into them.
I wasn't actually looking at the speedo. I was just looking where I was going.
Everything was just a blur.
Yes. Well, I'm trying to say that because I don't want to get into trouble.
I was going 29 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yes, I was going, within the 5% rule of 30. I was going 33 miles an hour. No, I was going quicker than 30 mile an hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't going like 100. Obviously, I'd be dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
A
was
good 70.
no. yeah, 69. I was going 69.
65?
65, yeah. They're just trying to get a bit of an extra answer. No, I was probably going about 35, 40 mile an hour, and I was like, oh fuck. But yeah, if he'd have carried on, I'd have missed him. So then I rode the bike home, and there was just bits of bodywork hanging off. The light was hanging down there. The screen had gone.
Why let you ride it home?
Well, I said to them, how else am I going to get home? And they said, well, you'll have to get the train. I said, no, I'm not leaving my bike in Wembley. It'll get nicked. And they're like, well, it's
Who'd
falling
nick that?
Who'd nick that? And I
It's
said,
in bits.
well, it starts, it runs. I'm taking it home. So I went back to the Ace Cafe, and I said to the boss or the owner there, have you got any cable ties? For the next hour, I was cable tying the bike together with cable ties.